Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Truth or Dare, released in 2018. Truth or Dare was produced by Blumhouse Productions, which throughout the 2010s became an absolute powerhouse of the horror genre. Led by the ebullient Jason Blum, who should definitely come on What's Your Favorite Scary Movie, Blumhouse has pumped out hit after hit using a tried and true company model. Give directors creative freedom with a smallish budget, usually under $5 million, and reap the rewards when those movies clean up at the box office. Though their output may be more quote-unquote mainstream than the art house films distributed by A24, I think that together, these two companies have helped usher in our current horror renaissance, breathing new life into the genre. Which is not to say every Blumhouse film is a good one, and many count Truth or Dare among its weaker endeavors. Starring Lucy Hale of Pretty Little Liars fame, who I wasn't familiar with back in 2017 when I mistakenly called her an unknown in the Scream 4 kill count, Truth or Dare is a supernatural story centered around the titular slumber party game and a demon that uses it to kill people. With its slick production and youthful cast, it's very clearly aimed at a teenage audience, which explains why it was released to theaters with a PG-13 rating. For this kill count, I'll be using the unrated home release version, but trust me, it's not different enough to warrant a cut comparison. It's only 30 seconds longer, and most of the extra footage is of the characters drinking alcohol, with only a few additional shots of gore. Though not everything about this movie is bad, Lucy Hale is a solid leading lady, and I like the way the game's rules play out among the participants. Overall, it's definitely one big old pile of meh. There are a lot of clumsy plot details, especially as it nears its conclusion, and it's hard to get over how stupid the Snapchat filter smiley faces look. They even ADR'd a line about it after the rest of production was finished.
It looked like a messed up Snapchat filter.
I think the best way to sum up how I feel about Truth or Dare is to compare it to the very similar Countdown. In that movie's kill count, I said that if you were new to horror movies, you could pick something worse to watch. Well, this is something worse to watch. Dare me to count all the kills in this movie? I've got to tell the truth. I was hoping you would. The movie begins looking like the music video for Stylo. Watch out for Bruce Willis, y'all! A tired-looking young woman named Giselle is at a gas station in Mexico when the attendant asks her a simple question.
Truth or dare, Giselle?
Please, I don't want to play anymore, please.
Truth or dare?
Next thing you know, Giselle is lighting a woman on fire, saying she didn't have a choice. The woman goes up in flames and runs Toasty out the door, collapsing on the ground into a title card. The story behind that opening scene, and actually how the movie got made in general, might help explain why it's so poorly regarded. It all started when Michael Moses, Universal's co-president of worldwide marketing, asked Jason Blum to make a movie about the game Truth or Dare. And that was it. They just gave him a title and told him to make a movie. Blum took the idea to Jeff Wadlow, who, again, was only given the name to work with.
Do you want to make a scary movie called Truth or Dare? And I said, yeah. Do you have a script? What do you got? He said, we got nothing. We got a title.
Wadlow, who wrote and directed Kick-Ass 2 in 2013, was a good choice for the project. His feature film debut, 2005's Cry Wolf, was also about a bunch of college kids playing a game that turned deadly, as discussed on the Dead Meat podcast a while back. In his meeting with Blum, Wadlow came up with the opening scene on the spot, then wrote the rest of the movie with a writer's room that included Michael Rice and married writing partners Jillian Jacobs and Chris Roach. And it all started with an executive saying, make a movie with the title Truth or Dare. Not exactly a passion project, you know? Lucy Hale plays Olivia Barron, a do-gooder college student who would be spending her spring break building houses with Habitat for Humanity if not for her longtime best friend, Marky.
I unsigned you up.
You what?
Yeah, I told Habitat you got shingles.
Damn, Marky, messing with life plans and shit? Anything for a party, I guess. Marky and their roommate Penelope are woo girls to the max, and are just fine coercing Olivia onto their Mexico trip, along with Penelope's boyfriend Tyson and their friend Brad. Marky's boyfriend Lucas is also coming along, and is happy to see Olivia joining them, but perhaps not as happy as she is to join him. With 3 cheers for youth, the kids take off for an opening credits sequence showing them driving into Mexico and living an Instagram life. Or a Snapchat life? I don't know, man. Whatever it is, it involves a whole bunch of alcohol and horniness.
Olé!
oh, I want to lay you. Let's go back to the hotel.
The footage for this sequence was filmed by the cast themselves during a trip to Rosarito Beach in Mexico, which they went on a week before production began so they could all bond together.
And we had a crazy night.
To really cement the bonding, the cast even played Truth or Dare. Everyone except Lucy Hale.
They were all in the hot tub. Lucy's got a bedtime, and it was past Lucy's bedtime, so I didn't play, actually.
On the last night of their dancing sexy times vacation, Olivia is chatting with Lucas when she sees Marky grinding on another dude. What, right behind him? Sounds like it's nothing new though. Marky is a serial cheater, and Olivia's always bailing her out. At the bar, Olivia runs into a classmate named Ronnie, who's one of those sex pest type things. But when a handsome stranger named Carter interjects on Olivia's behalf, Ron backs down to go take some shots.
I can't say no to shots. Everyone knows that. That's why I'm gonna leave, not because of what you said.
Carter hits it off with Olivia, and after the bar closes, he suggests to her friends that they head to a super cool secret spot to keep the party going. He leads them all to an old abandoned church, where inside he, has a cooler with ice and beer in it? How's that been here this whole time? Also, somehow, Ron appears out of nowhere.
You can't keep Ron from a party.
That's a scientific fact. Carter suggests they play a game of Truth or Dare as a way to discover each other's secrets and make their friends do things they don't want to.
That actually does sound kind of interesting.
Does it? Why is Tyson responding like this is the first time the game's ever been explained to him? They agree to play, since it's the name of the goddamn movie, and after a quick selfie, Olivia's the first up to bat. She picks Truth, and Brad asks her if she'd rather save the lives of everyone in Mexico or the lives of everyone in this room. A utilitarian humanitarian, Olivia picks Mexico.
I love you, but millions of people? Come on. It's the only right answer.
Alcohol continues to lubricate the game, with Penelope daring Ron to give a lap dance to Tyson, and Marky daring Lucas to streak for them. Then Tyson, a major doucher, asks Marky an awkward truth.
Are you aware that Olivia is in love with your boyfriend?
What the fuck, guy? Penelope tries to move things along by asking Brad who he'd make out with out of everyone there. He chooses the Daniel Radcliffe-looking Carter, by the way. But Olivia, mad at Tyson, bites back at him with a judgmental dare.
I dare you to stop selling forged prescriptions to freshmen.
Oh, shit.
Olivia, always with the moral high ground.
Penelope's turn comes next, with Ron naturally daring her to make out with Olivia. And when she finishes up the round by asking Carter what his plans are with Olivia, things get somehow even less fun.
I needed to find someone with friends that I could trick into coming here. I could tell Olivia was a pushover, which made her an easy target. I'm okay with strangers dying if it means I get to live.
Oh, thought you were just trying to get your dick wet, dude. Carter pieces out, but not before telling Olivia that they must continue to play the game going forward.
Tell the truth, or you die. Do the dare, or you die.
His point is punctuated by a bunch of scary faces, but they disappear in a hurry. Don't worry though, you'll see them fucking plenty. After spring break concludes, the kids head back to college, but Olivia just can't seem to shake the game of Truth or Dare. It's scribbled on her desk, written on the back of a flyer, and even engraved in the side of her car. Olivia and Marky haven't talked since the game, so Marky stews alone in her bedroom, watching a video on her phone of her father who recently killed himself. You know, Marky sucks, but it's hard not to feel bad for her here. She and Olivia try to make up over mojitos, with way too many mint leaves in them, but the next day, Olivia's confronted by a stretchy face in the library.
Hey, Olivia. Truth or Dare?
Yeah, she's getting stretchy-faced all over the place, though the face filter is not always applied uniformly. Friggin' beanpole back there looks normal as fuck. The hallucinations harass her with chants of Truth or Dare until she yells out truth in desperation.
What secret does your best friend make you hide?
Marky's constantly cheating on Lucas.
Aw, come on, Liv. This is a library. Great, you made it too loud for Lucas to study here. But how are you about to get mad at Olivia, Marky? You're the asshole here. That night at a bar, Ron is harassing a woman when she becomes a stretch face strong and asks him Truth or Dare. He's into it enough to answer dare, so she tells him to stand on a pool table and hang dong. He's just about to do it when some wang haranguing begins, and after he changes his mind and refuses to do the dare, he suddenly becomes possessed. God damn it, this face looks so fucking dumb. Though that death is not too bad, to be honest. Cracky! Olivia is telling the others about what she saw in the library when they all get texts with a video of Ron's accident. Olivia sees that he was playing Truth or Dare, but nobody believes her about the game having followed them. That is until Lucas is walking home through the town's graffiti district. The question dogs him through spray paint and then an engraving on his arm, causing him to answer a truth that he reveals to Olivia on the phone.
I've had feelings for Olivia since we met.
And that's how you construct a sturdy love triangle. With Lucas vouching for her now, Olivia tells everyone that the game is moving through them in the same order they played in Mexico. She was first, then Ron, who's gone, and then Lucas. And next up will be Marky. Sure enough, Marky gets a text asking her truth or dare. And although she doesn't believe any of this, with Olivia's insistence, she plays along. Her dare is to break Olivia's hand, and since Olivia's practical as hell, she grabs a hammer and orders the deed done. It's a good scene where Marky is understandably hesitant until Olivia finds the right motivation for her.
Oh, don't tell me you're a fucking coward like your dad.
Yep, that'll do it. Lucas and Brad take Olivia to the hospital where, look, I'll be honest, a dead body is shown, but I'm not gonna count it. They were already dead when we got here, and they weren't really a character. That might conflict with some 2018 kill count bylaw or something, but you know what I say in situations like this. Fuck it! The dead body becomes a Snapchat smiling ghoul who asks Brad truth or dare, to which he answers truth. Bad time for his homophobic cop dad to show up. And we know he's homophobic because of some earlier clunky exposition.
Remind me why I didn't go to school thousands of miles away from my overbearing and homophobic father?
Well, so you could feed the audience that line, Brad. His truth forces him to come out to his father, but it happens off screen. We only hear about it later when he tells the others. Such a weird choice for a character's big emotional moment like that. That means Tyson's up next in the game, but this poo-texting little American psycho ignores his friends' warnings as he heads into a med school interview so he can be a doctor. The interview ends with the dean asking him truth or dare, to which he can only respond with a very confused truth.
How long have you been forging prescriptions?
Tyson says that he doesn't, and since he didn't tell the truth, that boy's about to be a smiley vessel for self-harm. His friends arrive just in time to hear him stab himself in the eye with his lucky pen, and then drive it in deeper by slamming his head against the wall. Holy shit! This kill is the one most affected by the unrated cut, by the way. The kids try to track down Carter to see how they can stop the game, and end up finding an article about that Giselle chick who started the film lighting a lady on fire. Good times. One rack focus later, they see that Carter is a friend of hers, so they message her demanding that she meet with them. While they wait for her to respond, they decide that in order to survive the game, they'll only pick truth and never lie when they answer. Easy peasy, right? Not quite. Because when a drunken morose Penelope is confronted by a smiley version of herself in the mirror, she's told she's not allowed to pick truth right now.
That's not how this game works.
She's forced to pick dare, and her dare is to walk around the roof of the house until she finishes a fifth of vodka. Dare me to drive? This is by far my favorite sequence of the film. A really well-directed, suspenseful set piece that sees everyone doing their best to help Penelope. I love the coordination with the futon mattress, and how Lucas isn't allowed to physically help her because that would be cheating. I also love that, despite the movie's low budget, they filmed it practically with harnesses on a real roof. No green screens needed. Things get treacherous in the form of some spiky fence posts, but Olivia breaks the gate down in time for Penelope to finish the bottle and fall safely onto the mattress.
Is this my bed?
They hear back from Giselle and go to meet her in an alleyway, one that clearly doesn't have any running water nearby, cause that is one dirty lady. Giselle confirms that she and her friends, including some dude named Sam who trashed the place, played truth or dare in that Mexican church, after which the game started killing them one by one. She also explains why Penelope wasn't able to pick truth.
It's how we played. We called it two truths and a dare. If two people picked truth in a row, then the next person had to do a dare. Thought it was more fun that way.
Oh, yeah, that's a good house rule. Giselle says her friend got dared to find a new group to play, and that she also got a dare recently. To meltdown! Look out! She shoots at Olivia, but it hits Penelope, and the gut-shot gun wound causes her to die in Olivia's arms. Giselle's dare was to specifically kill Olivia though, and since she failed, her face becomes smiley, and her possessed form kills herself with a brutal gunshot to the head. Olivia, Lucas, and Marky research the Mexican church and learn that it's the Rosarito Mission, which was the site of a massacre in 1967 that left a single nun survivor, Inez Reyes. Olivia runs upstairs to her room, where she's attacked by a homeless guy who asks her truth or dare. She answers dare, breaking the poor guy of his possession, and he runs from the house, confused and scared. Yo, why are you chasing that dude, Lucas? You know he didn't do anything, other than give Olivia a dare, of course.
He dared me to sleep with Lucas.
She tells Marky she picked dare so everyone else could pick truth, but the selfless reasoning doesn't make Marky any less mad. Fuck off, Marky. You know the situation you're in right now. Why is everyone in this movie so dumb?
I don't think he knew where he was.
Oh, really? The possessed homeless guy didn't know where he was? Great detective work, dude. Olivia admits to Lucas that she actually picked dare because there's a truth about Marky that she's too afraid to answer. But it don't really matter why you picked dare, Liv. Y'all better get to shagging. Though, damn, she still has a broken hand? Guess no foreplay then. It's an unexpectedly steamy sex scene for a PG-13 movie with Lucy Hale, until all of a sudden, it gets a little kinky.
Truth or dare?
Lucas says truth, and he's forced to admit that he's truly in love with Marky, not Olivia. Yeah, man? Because you know she's cheated on you like a lot, right? Marky's up next in the game, and her question is asked from her dad who lives in her phone. She confesses that she's held on to the gun he used to kill himself, and he makes a scary suggestion.
Maybe you should get it.
Lucas and Olivia drive into Mexico so they can speak with the nun who survived that massacre at the church. These days, Inez Reyes is old and silent, not having spoken to anyone since the massacre, instead communicating with written messages. Olivia reads aloud about how Inez and the other nuns were sexually abused by a priest during their games of hide and seek. One day, the young nuns decided to fight back, so Inez summoned a demon named Kalex who possessed all of their games. It dismembered the abusive priest, but forced the nuns to keep playing, killing them in turn until Inez was able to stop it.
The person who released the demon can trap it with a simple ritual, but only by his own hand.
She stopped Kalex by saying a spell and sacrificing her tongue into one of these spooky skull jars. I've got to admit, though, that I always mentally check out when supernatural horror movies get into detailed spells and rituals, and I hate trying to convey it all in kill counts. They tell Brad that they have to track down that Sam dude who Giselle said trashed the place. If Sam broke Inez's spooky skull jar, it would have released Kalex, so he's got to be the one to donate his tongue to the swear jar. Brad is pulled outside by his dad, who, by the way, is played by Tom Choi, who voiced Liu Kang in MKX.
Illusions are petty magic. This is no illusion.
I thought that was cool. Brad's dad says he still loves him no matter what, but then Brad is asked truth or dare by a demon voice on his dad's radio. He's forced to choose dare, and his challenge is to make his dad beg for his life. After one last hug, he grabs the service weapon and gives it a go, but his dad doesn't beg in time, and Brad is shot and killed by his dad's police partner. Or probably, you know, his future ex-partner. Really shot your partner's son, dude? Damn. At the police station, the final three players are reunited, and Olivia is asked truth or dare by a stretchy-faced Lucas. She says dare to avoid the uncomfortable truth she mentioned, but it doesn't work.
I dare you to tell Marky the secret you fear most.
Oh, the old daring to tell a truth loophole. Works every time. Olivia's confession is a tragic intersection of backstories. One day when she was upset, she went over to Marky's house, and Marky's drunk dad made a move on her. She resisted, he persisted, and when she finally stopped him, she told him something he took to heart.
I told him that you'd be better off if you were dead.
Shit, that's how you kill a friendship, folks. And a dad too, I guess. A detective on the case mentions that everyone seems to be dead except for the love triangle trio and Giselle's friend Sam, who, turns out, is actually Carter. I think the whole Carter-Sam thing is a real shitty plot-stalling mystery to have, but whatever, at least it's over now. A distressed Marky retrieves the gun her dad used to kill himself, and when Olivia gets home later, she finds her friend pointing it at her own face. Olivia apologizes for what she told Marky's dad, and Marky says it wasn't her fault. So here, let's just end this sappy shit and get to the finale, right? They drive to Carter's and abduct him from his tinfoil apartment with the help of Marky's dad's gun.
Sweet little Olivia's not shooting anyone.
Try me. I dare you.
Ugh, that's a trailer line if I've ever heard one. The four of them go back to Mexico and back to the old mission, where inside they force Carter to start reciting the prayer Inez wrote down for them. During his recitals, the place gets shaky and Carter's face gets stretchy.
Truth or dare, Lucas?
Lucas dumbly picks dare, even though truth was available to him, and he's dared to kill either Olivia or Marky.
Why did you pick dare?
Because I knew if I didn't, then one of you would have to.
Yeah, you moron, but y'all are about to end it with the seance, remember?
You're such an idiot.
All of you are! Carter finishes his recital, and Olivia tells him there's one more thing he's gotta do.
I need you to cut out your tongue.
With the place collapsing all around them, and Lucas becoming possessed for failing to complete his dare, it's getting to be 10 past tongue cutting o'clock, dude, so get to it! Oh, he's actually doing it. Well, good. The possessed Lucas doesn't want to let Carter finish though, so he gets the girls off of him and stabs Carter in the stomach with his knife, which quickly kills him. Then he takes that knife and slits his own throat with it, though his neck looks weird and fake in the shot with the blood. God, dude, why did you pick dare? With Carter dead, they're unable to stop the game, but Olivia's got one more trick up her sleeve. A dead Lucas asks Marky the titular question, and Marky is dared to shoot Olivia. She refuses to do so, allowing Kalex to possess her, but then Olivia makes it so the dare is technically completed and asks the demon himself truth or dare.
I'm not in this game. No, once you're asked, you're in. Those are the rules, right? So truth or dare, asshole.
Kalex chooses truth and tells Olivia that they'll never be able to escape the game. It'll always come back to their turns. Olivia realizes that the best thing she can do is prolong the inevitable indefinitely.
Olivia has the epiphany that they can spread the game. They can invite the entire world to play and never have another turn.
Yep, Olivia's character arc is apparently learning that it's okay to sacrifice the many to save the few. To keep herself and Marky alive, Olivia spreads the game out to as many people as possible by uploading a video that's watched all over the world. In it, she invites everyone to be part of the game.
I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you. Truth or dare?
But the movie ends before we see any more kills, so don't even start with me on that shit. How many people died daringly in this truthfully stupid movie? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Ooh, wow, that really stretches out the face muscles. 8 people died in Truth or Dare, with 5 male victims and only 3 female victims. Dude, I told you to invite more chicks to the party. With a runtime of 101 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 12.63 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Tyson for sure. My least favorite character and during my favorite death, and they used practical effects to make it happen. I always love that. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Brad, who was shot in broad daylight. And that's it. Truth or Dare came out in 2018, and there's talks of a sequel in development, but we'll see. On Sunday, we're looking at the cult classic Jennifer's Body. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. Just a reminder that I want to cover the movies that you want to see, but I'd rather have the comments on a video be about that video. Plus, it's impossible for me to keep track of YouTube comments, so please, if you want to request a movie, send an email to deadmeatmovies@gmail.com. Any requests sent there get recorded and tallied so I can see what's the most requested. Thanks everyone, be good people.